Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at RUNE. Before we jump into the price section, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Okay, so let's talk about the structure within this. There is a couple of ways of looking at this move and basically within this structure we have to ask ourselves a few things. We don't have all the information here, don't really know what happened coming into this move, but from this structure that we do have, we have to see now this can be counted as a 1-2, an extension within a third, a fourth, and actually a truncated fifth into this high. So this is one way of counting this move. The alternative would be to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 and having an extension in this fifth wave into this high. And they would just be looking at this as an extended fifth wave within this move here. So if this is the case, we'd have to be careful with how we count it because it changes how this corrective structure begins. If we complete into this high, that means we start from back here. However, if we complete into here, this means we start from this wave here as an A wave. So this is the two ways that I'm looking at it. So the ideal support range would be this region here of this 3176 to the 03866. We haven't quite come down into this zone. And it is possible that we could actually see a move down here. Just we the problem with this is it's not certain whether this B wave is completed yet. This B wave could still be in play, and we could look to push up higher off of the current zone. Potentially, this 1-to-1 would take us down here to this 3489 region. So if we do get a move down into this area, basically we could see a move down into this area of this 3489 area for the C wave, and then we could look for that continuation to the upside. So the way I'd be looking at this move, if we're looking at it in this way, is the potential we could actually have this play out as a diagonal to the downside, looking for a contracting diagonal. I've just drawn this line on the top here. This is not set in stone because really it's only wave 2 and 4 that get connected by this, so it could be more something like this if this actually does forming a falling wedge pattern to the downside here. So the reason that I'm looking at it like this is it's very difficult to count this as a completed move into this low just because of the way that it's come down here. Um, the way I'm counting this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here for an A. And then this potentially is an A, a B, and then we're looking for that as a C wave if we're looking for it as a flat. So there's two ways. We can have a flat correction in here, or we can have a corrective move that is looking at this as a so looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a motive wave, but as a diagonal. So this could then be that B wave over here. So this is the issue that we have within this count. So it is a bit unclear, but what we can do is I'm gonna do a separate shorter term video, which is gonna do some short term potential moves off of these lows here, and then we're gonna discuss it a bit more. But this is just looking at the macro side. So if we did actually have to move back down to this zone, this would be quite an interesting area because we do have this bit of structure here. So if we are looking at this either as a if we're looking at this as a extension within a fifth wave here, so we're going to go over that in a second. But the alternative, like I said, is we could be coming back into this zone for this 1-to-1. So that could be interesting. If we do look to pass down lower than that, potentially this 13 cent range to this 10-cent range is still viable. But I do think that this area would hold quite well upon a move down into the zone. But obviously, we'd have to see. There's limited data available here. So the other way that we were looking at this move, and we're going to be talking about that now, would be looking at the potential that there's an extension within this fifth wave. And that would be looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then basically a fifth wave into there. So this would be looking at this rather now. We were looking in the previous one that basically this was a 4 and this was a 5. However, here we'd be looking at this as an A, this is a B, looking at this as a C. So the idea is much the same. Within this structure, technically speaking, as a B wave, we could move up to this 555 to this 1203, and that would be a zone that we could be typically looking for as a B wave retracement. But we also need to be aware, like this could just be a running flat in here. And what happens with running flats is this A wave high is never taken. And what happens off the back of these is often we get a dramatic sell-off. So if we actually do get a 5-wave move down from this point rather, then we could actually look for the C wave. It is also possible this turns into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, and then we potentially come back and retest this channel and then look to break down. So we're going to have to discuss these in a bit more detail, but at the moment we don't have good structure, and really until we take this high, um, we'd have to be pretty careful. Even if we do form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside here, we'd still need to be cautious that this could just be a flat correction, and then that would mean that this would be an A, this would be a B, and then we'd still get that C wave down, which could look to project us down into these zones. But yeah, that's what we're looking out for here. The diagonal option would work in this case as well as that flat. Both of those options are still viable. This is would be a key support zone, like I said, this previous structure here, which would actually tie in with this 50% if we're looking at this as a fifth wave into there. This 41167 would be the upper range of the support range. If we did break down lower, if we're looking at this potential, eventually, basically this 618 would be here at this 1614, and then the lower range here would be the 786. So the dangerous thing here is if we lose the 786 area, this 4252, we'd have to start being a bit cautious, because even though we are counting this as a potential impulse, you could also argue that it is just an A, a B, and a C to the upside. So, there's multiple ways of counting this. This doesn't violate any rules, the way we are counting it, but this could always be something else. So we just need to be careful. If we start to break below the 786 level of this 04252 zone, it becomes really probable that this is actually going to set a new low then. It doesn't obviously until it does. It could look for that 854 area as a final support zone. But yeah, once we start to lose the 786 as an impulse anyway, it starts to become more and more unlikely. So within this, basically, this would be our key zone. This 3631 36 cent to this 31 cent area. If we do maintain that, potentially we could look for the C wave to stop a bit shallower here, and it might not reach that 1-to-1 area that we're looking for down here at this 20 cents 75. So this is something we're keeping an eye out for within the structure. If we do push up higher, this C wave target will also increase, or will also come up here. So this support range won't, but the target zone for the C will. So if we do push up slightly more here, and potentially, so this orange box here is it's a 0.236 with the lower end to the 50% zone. So this is a typical area that we could look for as a flat correction. And if I just move this over here, if we did move up towards this, we can see that potentially if we do move to this 382, it would actually come and be a retest of this channel line here, as well as this 50% could retest this channel if we do move into this on a small sideways note here, and we do look for some upside potential. This is all still possible for as long as we hold this zone of this $1 area. If we start to lose $1, then this could actually look to break down deeper to some of these key zones that we're talking about within the structure. So if we do actually, I'm just going to go back to the truncation. If we do manage to actually hold this zone of this 35 cent region, potentially what we could see is a move up towards this zone. With a 1-to-1 would take 379 as a 1-to-1. However, actually that's off of this 618. That's not off of that 50%. So let's actually move that up here into that zone. So that 1-to-1 would actually be $897. Whether we would actually move up towards that 1-to-1 is yet to be seen. Some of these coins might not reach these 1-to-1 figures here, and we could maybe see a move up to potentially like this 618, which is sitting at this $43, and then this could just be an A, a B, and a C. Alternatively, if we wanted to be super bullish on this, it would have to cross. Yeah, I mean, 138,000, don't think so. But yeah, basically, this is what I'd be looking out for. That potential that we could actually look for a 1-to-1 would be a very optimistic way of looking at it. But potentially, once the requirement would be just to take this A wave high and potentially hit this 618. So that, I mean, that's still a good figure in itself. But potentially these things can extend out and might even move higher up into some of these ranges if it does hold this zone. Obviously, these target zones, the lower we go, the lower these target zones will be as well. For instance, if I came back to the 618, it would be at 376. If we came down even lower towards the 786 zone, that would be $110 at a 1-to-1. So it is always possible that we could see some more continuation to the downside here, and we'll talk about that in the shorter term video and what we need to look out for within that structure. But this is just a general overview of the macro. I am expecting a little bit more downside here. The structure doesn't seem complete to me. It is always possible, like I said, we could get a move up in a bigger 5-wave structure here, potentially looking to target out some of these zones like this $4.35, and then look for continuation to the downside. But at the moment, we don't have that confirmation. But like I said, we're going to be doing a shorter term video, which is going to be talking about this move to the upside here and what needs to happen for it to remain bullish within that move. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. We have a lot going on in there. As well as that, in the description, you'll find a link to CryptComps, your chance to win $10,000 of any crypto of your choice. Check it out. It's in the link below. Okay, everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.